Vikings fans out here? Oh, come on. So, go Vikings. I hear a lot of that going here. So, my name is Luke Eggebraaten, and I want to get a quick inventory here to see who's in the crowd. Show of hands if you were here last year. Okay, awesome. I've seen a lot of familiar faces yesterday at the welcome party, but also today. If I haven't met you yet or haven't got a chance to talk, I'd love to meet you after this. I'll be here till Thursday in every session. As Dervin mentioned, we've got the Dirtbags podcast live tomorrow during lunch. Here is us last year enjoying some Coors Lights on a Wednesday at noon, and it's just a great time. So thank you guys so much for having me back. This is truly, I was telling my wife when I was coming back here, my wife Olivia, she's like, you know, what's it like? And the best way I could describe it is it's like a big dysfunctional family. And it's so fun to get together with everyone, hear how business is going, hear how the families are doing. So I'm excited to spend the week with you. But I've got 60 minutes, and realistically, I'm going to do about 45 minutes here. I'm going to help put together, so if you saw my presentation last year, it was a pretty broad stroke of digital marketing. I'm going to get a little bit more specific here with this presentation. And so for 45 minutes here, if you don't think it's for you, just try your best to learn one thing from this presentation. We're here anyway. We're already getting credits. We might as well try and learn something. So I'm going to do my best, and I'm excited to work with you guys here today. I also, the MSTA newsletter, I got a chance to write an article in there. So if you got a chance to read that, I've been trying to do my best to help MSTA and the members here and just give you guys valuable information on digital marketing for septic companies. So a little bit about me. There's my wife, Olivia, sporting our purple. We went to this is the playoff game in LA. This is the playoff game that was supposed to be in LA, but then got moved to Phoenix. As Dervin mentioned, I live in Gilbert, Arizona, and my wife is my other half. She means the world to me. Besides my love for Jesus Christ, she is my number 2 priority, and we don't have kids yet, but I assume when we do, they're going to be number 3, and then business falls shortly after that. And from there, I'm very, very good at dealing with disappointment and heartbreak. As you'll see in this picture here, we had the perfect opportunity to go see in Detroit, Week 18, Vikings versus Lions for the NFC North, for the 1 seed, and we got destroyed. Yep, thank you. That's the best round of applause I've had all day, so thank you for that. But honestly, you know, the fans, it was kind of funny. The fans were very respectful. They're buying us drinks. They're a great time. So nothing like the Philly fans, of course, but can't say enough positive things about Detroit. But it was kind of funny as we were leaving, there was a lot of skull chants going on when they were up by 30 points. And so I think it was just to mock us as we were leaving the stadium. But we're huge Vikings fans. We're Christ followers. We're obsessed with business. And we are also ingrained in this septic world on the digital side. And so I'll touch on that here in a little bit. So a few of the businesses that I'm involved in. So I started Phaser Marketing in 2019. It is a digital marketing agency for excavation and septic companies. We work with about 73 companies across North America on a full-time basis. And anywhere from Connecticut out to Vancouver and down south into Texas. This really helps our perspective and get to see, you know, what works and what doesn't work when it comes to septic companies and bringing them online. And that is what takes up my day-to-day. We have 12 full-time employees that are based across the country. And then separate from that, we have the Dirtbags podcast. It is our 3-year birthday yesterday. So we started that 3 years ago, and that has just been an absolute blessing. It's really helped us connect people, men and women in the dirt world together. It's listened to in 23 countries, and we have about 4,000 monthly listeners. And so we're super excited tomorrow to bring you guys a good show, and then that'll also publish live on all platforms this Friday. When we had the podcast and we started it, we knew we wanted to get a little bit more detailed and like how do we develop some more educational content? Because in a podcast format, there's only so much you can do, only so much you can talk about. But really what we wanted to do is working face-to-face with you guys or on Zoom and bringing you the real-life scenarios. So we started Dirtbags University, which is a webinar series. We've been doing that for a couple years, and we usually host those about every 3 months or so. So we're bringing that back this year. And then lastly, Turf Wars Racing. This is totally just a guilty pleasure business. This is just 4 friends and I've owned it for about 7 years. We race side-by-sides, pit bikes, dirt bikes, lawn mowers. It's racing for all ages, so we bring together people in different communities. We've had people that are 4 years old race for their first time, and we've had a 75-year-old races Polaris Ranger with some hay bales in the back. So that business is just a good time getting people together and something that we do a few times a year. And then if you were here last year, I brought a copy of my book for every single attendee. So that's the Digital Dirt World. If you didn't get one last year and this is your first year, let me know. I'll have my cell number on the last slide. You can shoot me a text. I'd be happy to send you one for free. I didn't want to bring books again because then it just becomes a drink coaster. So for anyone that got the book, show of hands here. Who did get the copy of the book last year? Okay, wonderful. So if you didn't get it, let me know. I'd love to send you one. But I couldn't leave you guys empty-handed. And so I had to bring, as most of you got here, some of our air fresheners. So we've got 4 scents. This is one of our favorite things that we have developed. We've got our new Skiddy scented air freshener. So obviously you got that Cat 259 smell. Formulated that over 3 years of sitting in skid steers and just really trying to dial in that smell. We've got our second came the forestry mulching scent, which you won't have today. But third, the new septic tank scent. I went with trying to decide whether I was going concrete tank or plastic. We went more the plastic tank. So as you pop that one open, make sure you're sitting down because we don't want to knock you back. And then finally, for the snow industry, we have our Phaser Black Ice, and that's a great one as well. Same thing with that. If you want a copy of the book, if you want any more of these, shoot me a text. I'd love to send them to you for free, and it would be my gift to you guys. Does anyone know, I want to see a show of hands here, does anyone know what our 5th scent is going to be? And I need some ideas. What's going to be our 5th scent? I heard shit. Shit? Any other guesses? Porta potty? Poop? Okay. New porta potty scent? Money? Okay, you guys are... Dirt? Okay, so this 5th scent, this is the first one I actually started on. It's actually been fermenting for about 14 years in Hale, Michigan, and it's coming next year for you guys. So if you guys have me back, I will have new air fresheners for you guys, fresh out of the tank. So if you invite me back, I will put 200 of these in my suitcase and have them here for you guys. Thank you, James, for the picture, by the way. Okay, so all joking aside, there's probably going to be some more jokes in here, but when I decided what to put together for you guys today, because I wanted to do something a little different, something that you could remember, something that you could take home with you. If you've got notes, I think this would be great. Pen and paper, write some of this down here. We're going to talk about the pump strategy today. And what is the pump strategy? P, positioning for visibility. Essentially, this is getting found on Google, getting found on search. I would call this the attract phase that we talked about last year, the top of the funnel, your acquisition. Unstoppable content. That would be your U, the using video and SEO to attract your customers. You'll see M, how do we maximize your leads and conversions? And by leads, I don't just mean leads to go pump a tank, leads to drop and install a new tank. I also mean leads for applicants to come work for your company. And that's a big thing that we do with our companies is how do we attract more employees to come work for you? So when I mean leads, it's work, but it's also employees. Finally, the last P is proactive reputation management. Has anyone received a bad review, a 1 or 2 star Google review? Show of hands here. Nobody, that's great. Okay, oh, we had one over there. So good job, guys. We're gonna start with P here. So positioning for visibility. As we dive into it, does anyone use any type of AI for their website? Anything to, okay, cool. So I put a couple tools together for, oh, we got one back there. Which tool do you use? Gotcha. So the company uses a tool that, okay, perfect. So put a couple of these together, and the reason I did this, we utilize some AI for our SEO strategy, but really some of these tools are very easy to use. They're very affordable, very cheap, and it kind of eliminates sometimes having to use an agency like ours or sometimes having to hire somebody else. You can use one of these tools to take a look and clean up your website. So a couple of those tools here. So first, Surfer SEO. So if you want to write 2 of these down, it would be Surfer SEO and Page Optimizer Pro. These can go through your site. It can take care of some of the SEO. We would call this foundational SEO, and getting your website to a much better place without needing to really break the bank. So steps to implement, using one of those 2, ensure your NAP, so your name, address, phone number, is consistent across the whole internet. This would be what we call citations. So the more you can jump into your Google Business Profile, your website, your directories like Yellow Pages, things like that, you want to make sure that whatever your business name is registered with the state, that's the name you have on your Google Business Profile. That's the name you have on every website out there. So, and then the add business, local business schema markup. So schema, you can have somebody help you out with this that's in the office, or hire somebody for $50 to do this. It's super easy, but essentially what schema is Google will take a look and it can read your website a lot easier, and they can see the local business schema markup. So when it comes to high authority directories, we want to jump on these and make sure we're on there. So a couple of these I wrote down: Home Advisor, Angie, Yellow Pages, and the BBB. Is anyone using Angie's Leads or Angie's List? Does everyone else hate Angie's List? Okay, good. So here's my thoughts on it. And I thought this would be a good time to talk about it. So somebody reached out to me and said, Luke, I know I'm supposed to hate Angie's Leads, but I spent $2,000 and it made me $332,000. And my thought on that is, like, if it's working, you can keep doing it. But as we all know, the leads you're getting aren't your leads. They're bought and then they're sold to you. But if you get that lead and you make them your customer and it's working, it works just fine. But my recommendation would be to make sure that you're getting your own customers. So once you get that customer, how do you continue to curate your content towards them? How do you add them into your email list, your social media following, and all of that? So Angie's List is a good temporary and short-term platform to use, but ideally we get your own customers. What else you'll see on there is tracking your SEO performance. So SEO would be your search engine optimization. In a nutshell, this is when somebody types in septic pumping, Hale, Michigan, who pops up number 1 on Google? Who pops up number 2 and number 3? Our main job, and what SEO's main job is to do, is to make sure that those business websites are towards the top for those keywords. So what you can do to kind of track those is Google Search Console. It's a free tool. You can sign up on there. You can see exactly what keywords you're ranking for and kind of where you pop up in the position, but also how somebody found your website. You can see exactly what they searched there. And then, of course, your Google Business Profile Insights. We'll go through a deep dive here of we'll have a volunteer in the room. We'll do a Google Business Profile deep dive at the end here. Unstoppable content. Has anyone ever heard of Dig It Excavating? Or pump that septic. Has anyone ever heard of Dervin or Devin or what's his name? No, it's, when you think of a powerhouse when it comes to content, I always think of Diggit, I think of Dervin, I think of their whole family. And what's so cool is that I wouldn't have known Dervin, James, Benjamin, and most of you if it wasn't for content, if it wasn't for social media. As much as I like and don't like it, it brings people together. So what we're going to talk about here of the U is the unstoppable content. Just so I can gauge the room here, who feels like they're creating content for their business, social media? So we got a couple here, Who would like to be better at that? Couple. Okay, so here's what we've found that's worked. Finding a topic and talking about it. If you can't find a topic, just talk. And if you really, really don't want to be on camera, try and find somebody within your company that is comfortable, that can do it. Do we have anyone that's not an owner here in this room? Okay, so most people here are owners. My guess is that you guys are busy, you've got stuff going on, and you don't have time to sit here and do this. If you remember last year, we did a delegation exercise, and it was the 4 boxes, and it was what you're great at and what you love to do, and on the bottom right, it's what you're terrible at and what you hate to do. If this is one of those things in that bottom right box, make sure you delegate that to somebody else on your team. So what do we recommend? You can use ChatGPT or Google has something called People Also Ask. You can find exactly what people are searching and then record a 60-second video on that. The reason I recommend 60 seconds, it's quick, it's to the point, but also you can post on all those platforms there. Leveraging user-generated content, or UGC for short. This would be your clients or your people that are supporting your business, and that is the content you're using. So think of it as if I put out a Facebook story, and it is one of our clients wearing one of our hats, right? Or it is one of our clients talking about us in a video testimonial. That would be something we would consider user-generated content. So asking your customers for video reviews, it's going to be more awkward for them, trust me, than it is for you asking. So the more you can get video reviews of them talking about, yeah, they showed up, they helped educate us, they did a site walk, we feel comfortable with them, and that's why we chose Walnut Grove Excavating. And so just building that culture, building that brand, but also building that trust with every one of your clients. Another thing you can do there is using QR codes on invoices, linking directly to that Google Business Profile link so they can write that review or do the video. And then reposting and tagging customers on social media. I would call this the power of reciprocity. So whatever you do for somebody else, typically it would come back to you. And the best way I can describe it is when you are truly doing something for somebody else without expecting it to come back, that's when it seems to come back tenfold. And so when it comes to commenting on other people's stuff, reposting others, just engaging, asking good questions on other people's posts, typically that comes back to you and can really be a great benefit for your business. Maximizing leads and conversions. So what I would say here, there's a couple things. Improving your website for conversions. I know most of us have websites here, most of you that I was talking to. Using clear call to actions, so whether, most of your clients, do they call or fill out a form? Would you say call? Okay. What you'd want to do is that on that top right of your website, have that different color button and have call now. Have it go, most of these website visitors, they're going to be mobile. So having that as a call now button, but then giving them that second option, making sure they can go to your contact page, they can send you an email, or they can fill out that form. So making it as easy as possible. Speed up the website. I have 2 tools here for you guys. WP Rocket or Nitro Pack. Just being able to speed up the website, that will also help with SEO. And then adding online booking using Calendly or House Call Pro. Does anyone have an online booking CRM? What are we using, Travis? House Call Pro. What are your thoughts on House Call Pro? Love it. Perfect. So they can automatically book on your guys' schedule, and then you see it pop up? Okay, haven't used it yet. So I'm excited to talk with you on that and see how that works for you. So using House Call Pro, but also like Benjamin mentioned earlier, keeping it simple. One shiny object at a time. As entrepreneurs, we get so excited when we get these new softwares, but I think you guys are doing it well, where one thing at a time, that booking feature will come next. Google Ads and LSAs. Do we have any LSA users, local service ads? Okay, perfect. If there's one thing you can take away from this presentation, I would say to look into Google local service ads. We talked about Angie's Leads earlier and some of those others. Google came out with this platform in about 2018, and they've been slowly rolling out different categories. And septic pumping and septic service came onto the scene, and it has been a game changer for our clients. It is very, very easy to use. It's very easy to set up. If anyone ever has questions on that, just let me know. I can help you get set up. But it's one of those platforms, unlike Google Ads, where you can run it yourself. So Google Local Service Ads, they have this, it's that Google guaranteed green check mark. And what they do is it's their pay-per-lead system. So you get a lead in, somebody needs their tank pumped, right? That's a good lead. You call it, Google actually records that call. You can listen back to that all on the platform. Let's say somebody calls and they need their lawn mowed. You're like, well, we don't do that service, sorry. Google doesn't charge you for that lead. So you're only paying per lead instead of paying for every single click or every single impression. So it's a great platform to get in, get those phone calls coming in. I think most of us are too busy to handle more work, but then also you want to grow. And usually what happens is I hear in these conversations, it's, Luke, we want to grow, but I can't take on any more work. So what a platform like this will do is kind of expose you to new customers and to other customers that you might want to work with, and then it kind of filters out some of the bad ones that are taking up a lot of your time. And then as you grow and scale and grow your team, typically we would increase that budget and make sure that you have a lot more of these projects to pick from. And then, of course, on the Google Ads side of things, you can do different negative keywords. So like your DIY septic fix, we don't want to work with those types of clients. So making sure that our keywords that we're tossing in there are for the clients we want to work with. Proactive reputation management. This is that final P in our pump strategy here. Automating Google reviews collection. Does House Call Pro have an automated? They do? Okay, perfect. So House Call Pro is, and Benjamin, I think you even had it on your screen as well. This is just one of the many CRMs and softwares and platforms out there that do a great job, but this would be an example of that. So I tossed on here a Podium or Nice Job, and this is automated review requests. It's hard enough to ask individually somebody to do it, but you still need to do that. You still need to ask when you're at the job site, when you're loading up the equipment. One piece of advice that I've seen work really well with our clients is if they know they need to clean up the site and they do their final job walk with the client, as they're doing their final walk and as they're loading up their equipment, they'll say, would you mind writing a Google review for us as I load up and before I get payment? And what that does is they'll commit to it. They'll say, yes, of course, this has been great. They'll do it as you're loading up, and then you'll be able to confirm and make sure that it's done before you collect the check. So that's almost like a guaranteed way where they'll write you a 5-star review, and then you can make sure it gets done. And then I'll show you kind of where you can find that direct link, so it makes it as easy as possible. And then, does anyone offer cash if somebody does a Google review? Okay, so no cash. So we have 2 clients that have done this. One client offers $50 for anyone that will write a review. And a different company in Minnesota, they will incentivize their team $50 for every review that they can get from a client. So it gets your team out there too. It gets them asking for these 5-star reviews. And that is the most important thing for your SEO. All right, here we go. Is Jason, where's Jason at? Jason Spangle. He is our volunteer. There he is. So I asked Jason, I'm like, Jason, I know you're going to be here. Can I go and do a deep dive into your Google Business Profile to, just take it as it is, give you guys some insightful tips, advice, but utilizing his GBP? And he said yes, and we're going to dive into it right here. So first things first, I want to show you how to find it and how to sign in. So if you go to Google and you just want to make sure at the top right you're signed in to your email, and you just type in your business name. This has changed over the years, and so for me to sign into mine, I type in Phaser Marketing, and then how you know you're in the right place, you'll see where it says Your Business on Google. That means your Google Business Profile is verified, you have access to it, and then you can make these changes here. You'll also see that circled there, you manage this Google Business Profile. So this is Esh's Septic, and a couple things I want to look at here as we dive in. First things first, love to see the 5.0 average. He's got 36 Google reviews, which is competitive in a lot of areas. In some areas, they might have a couple hundred reviews, but as I was looking in his area, that is pretty competitive, so love to see the 5-star average there. A couple other things I noticed that I liked is he had his website linked. Super important, very easy. He had his call button linked. You want to always make sure that those two are in your buttons there. And then also having your hours updated. You'll notice Google, like over Christmas or over holidays, they'll say, are you closed for Thanksgiving? Are you closed for Christmas? Anytime you can use their suggestion or just say like, yep, we're closed, Google loves that, and they'll actually prioritize your Google Business Profile. But here you'll see what I like. He's got different hours, Saturday 10 to 2. I'm sure it's one of those things where he'll work longer. If he gets a call on Sunday, maybe he will come out. But just making sure that you have that dialed in is what I like to see. Next spot here, the questions and answers. So as you scroll down in your Google Business Profile there, you'll see a questions and answers spot. This can actually be used as a frequently asked questions on your Google Business Profile. So what you can do here is you can hit the Ask a Question button, and you can write your own questions. How much does it cost to pump a septic tank? How often do I pump my tank? How do I know if we have a clogged sewer line? Different questions like that, and then you can answer those, and Google will prioritize those. Next thing here, you'll see the social media links. He does have his Facebook linked, which is good. I know he's on Instagram and a couple other platforms, and I would love to see those linked here as well. So good optimization there is to add those. And then here, he did not have these on his profile, but I went and found Anderson Septic, who does have these on their profile. These are what's called Google Business Updates. And what this is it's essentially Google's social media. So what I recommend for this is cross-post whatever you're going to put on Facebook or on Instagram, put that same post onto your Google Business Profile, and it'll show up in the search engine. So what Google does is they take a look at the description, at the post, they'll pull the words at when somebody searches, and it can really help your GBP rank. So that's kind of how they show up towards the bottom, and then the learn more would be your call to action of calling your business or going to your website. Next one here, your category. This one's very important. Most of us, we would select our primary category would be our septic system service. That's what I would definitely recommend if you're pumping, even installs. But what's super important is that you use these additional categories. So let's say, in addition to pumping tanks, you're installing tanks. You'd want to make sure that you add excavating contractor as an additional category. And then if you're I would definitely add waste management service as well. So if you're managing the waste, if you're bringing it to the dump site, which most of us would anyway since we're pumping, so making sure that you utilize those additional categories. So I clicked on his photos here, and just to take a look and see, Jason, how are the photos looking? And this is what anyone can see if they search the business on Google. I found some beautiful photos from 8 years ago, and the newest ones were about 3 years old. And so biggest recommendation here, just jump in there, have your office manager jump in there, update some new pictures, get some pictures of your team, pictures of your equipment, and just, it doesn't have to be much, maybe twice a year, maybe once a quarter, getting these updated, because if a customer jumps on or if a potential employee jumps on and they see it's been 8 years or 3 years since you've updated it, it's just not a great look. And then this is what I loved here as I was scrolling through the pictures. I don't know if he just loves these Porta-Johns, but there were 15 pictures of this. And you'll see here on the left, there's 6 right in a row there. There's a total of 15 out of 30 or so pictures, and half of them were these Porta-Johns. So just going through, cleaning it up, making sure that, okay, our business is represented well online, and that if somebody stumbled across this, it's really not a big deal, but it also just, we hold our business to higher standards. And so I told Jason, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just giving some opportunities to clean some things up here. But they do look nice. So we can keep one of those on. Next here is when you guys get a Google review, a tip with these that a lot of people don't utilize is the reply feature. So if you look here, you can like the review because they spent the time to do it, but also making sure it pops in right about there. You can click reply, and you can kind of give your feedback to that review. Thank you so much for writing this review. It was great working with you out in Wilton, Connecticut. It's so great to meet your family, because people can see that. This is all public, and so your potential future customers can see these. So we didn't have any replies on any of the 36 reviews that I could see. So making sure that we go through those. You can go through them anytime. Just crank them out, reply to those. And what's most important for those is you'll see this. And I told them I didn't pull up the full review, but I probably should have. I don't even think it would have fit on the screen. This Delilah tore into their company. And 2-star review, left a book and a half of a review 5 months ago. It was the first review I saw on their profile. So that is my first impression. So I see this review, and I'm reading it. I'm like, man, she's not holding back. This is bad. But what could we have done to even just help mitigate this a little bit? Give our side of the story. Give our public side of the story. So what you would do here is you like it, and then you just send the reply back and discuss the situation. Jason told me the whole situation right before I came up, and he's like, we called, we left a voicemail, we showed up, they were late, but we tried to handle the situation. But you don't see any of that in here. And so what you can do if you ever get a 1 or 2-star review, first of all, I recommend giving them a call. The easiest way to get it removed is to give them a call. Hey, yep, that's my bad, or hey, this is what happened. Do you mind deleting that review? We'll come back out, we'll get it fixed. Yep, no problem. Boom, they can go in and delete it. That's the easiest way. Second way, if they're like, nope, screw you, we're not doing that, you could report it. So you can click the 3 dots, you can report it to Google. Most of the time that won't work though. And then the third thing, which you should always do, as I mentioned, is just reply and give your side of the story, because how you handle the positive reviews and how you handle the negative reviews, everyone can see that. And when you have 1 2-star review out of 36 and you give your side of the story, it doesn't make you look like the crazy one. So you can really help yourself out there. And finally here, as we wrap up with exactly what you can do with your GBP, when you sign in and you see your business on Google, here's what I recommend. You'll see these boxes here. Just go through each one. The edit profile, that's where you're going to see a lot of the address, the phone number, all that information, making sure that's all clean. The read reviews, that's where you can read and reply to the reviews, as we were just mentioning. The photos, that's where you can add in and delete some of the Porta-John photos, clean those up. Performance, that's where you can see, okay, is the stuff I'm doing even working? Are people finding us on Google? I mean, this is a free tool. Anyone can use it. And I definitely recommend somebody in your office jumping on that. But you can start to track, like, wow, we got 80 phone calls this month from Google, from this profile. And you'll be able to see that in the performance. Advertise, of course, that would be your Google ads. Edit products and edit services. This is definitely one that gets missed. You don't want to add in just pumping. You want to add in everything you do and give a description on it, because that will act as a service page on your website, but a service page for your Google Business Profile. Bookings, that would be the booking link, either a Calendly link or something through House Call Pro, where they can book with you. The Q&A, that's where you can add in your questions, your answers, and your frequently asked questions, which will help you show up. And then, of course, your ad update, which is your Google's social media. And then finally, the ask for a review. That's that direct link to your Google Business Profile to write your review. You can click that button, you can grab that link, and anytime somebody asks or anytime you ask somebody, you can send them that link, and it brings them right to that page. So as we wrap up here, like I mentioned, I'm going to put my contact information up here. Please shoot me a text if you guys want another copy of the book, or if you didn't get any air fresheners, let me know, and I'd love to hear what you guys thought. And of course, if you have any questions on setting up the LSA account or setting up the Google Business Profile, let me know. We get to do this stuff every day, and we absolutely love it. So thank you guys so much.